Good evening everyone, hope you're all well, or whatever time you're watching this video, whatever time of day it is, hope you're keeping well. So, we are nearly at the end of Guitar Quest 1, so this is all good, week 14, so I think we'll probably end up finishing the book off today, which is really cool. So any feedback you can give on what you've enjoyed and so on would be much appreciated. I will also be talking about what we're going to do next week as well. I'll go over that at the end. So before we get started, let's just go over a couple of the usual bits and pieces. So if you're on a device, or whatever device you're on, obviously you're on one, just turn emails off and any social media, that kind of thing. Let's get our dedicated half an hour again. And if there's any kids watching, try and make sure there's an adult in the room so that they can help you through understanding any bits and pieces that are going on. But yeah, without further ado, I think let's get started. So we will just start off with the tuning notes. I'm just going to adjust my camera angle a little bit there. Okay, so here we go with our bottom E string. Just try and make sure you're nice and in tune with that. Okay, and then A. And then D. Okay, and G. And B, and then finally our top E string. Okay, good. Right, just notice I'm a little bit off the top of the screen here, so if I just move around a little bit, hopefully you can see me just about. So, okay. So the other thing, just as a reminder, remember posture-wise, you've got the two main postures. So we might have the left foot on the footstool and the guitar over the leg, kind of like that kind of thing. That's more of a classical kind of posture. Or you might have it over your right leg, and you might even raise your right foot up on the footstool again, and possibly not quite as high, but something like that. So as long as it's comfortable. We don't want the angle of the neck pointing down, remember, we want it to try and be level or ideally pointing up a little bit. So, we'll start off, so we suggested then a warm-up of the 8-note dictionary last time, so we're going to kick off with that before going back over Top Gun and exercise 28, and then we'll get on to those final couple of exercises to finish off the book. So, here we go with the 8-note recap. I'm going to play it forwards and backwards. If you can, try and say the note names out loud as you go. Yeah, so just good luck really, and hopefully this is all making sense. So here we go then. So after 4, say 3, 4. A, B, C, finally G. Okay, and we're going to come back again, back to F, then E, D, C, B, A, G. Okay, cool. So again, just sort of reaffirming where the notes are. Hopefully this is all kind of sinking in and you're sort of feeling a lot more confident. Certainly than you were on week 1 anyway, and if you're feeling more confident than that, then I think that's a good thing, and obviously hopefully you kept up with everything we've done. Obviously the videos are all online, so you can go back and watch them if you want to. But that is our warm-up done, so let's go on to Top Gun. So I just need to find the music here. So hopefully you got the photocopy still from, not the photocopy, the printout rather, from the other week. So as we mentioned last time, on the original, you've got the repeat and then it changes key, all the notes go a bit higher and they play it again, and then it's kind of like the third time that you go back and play what's written on ours. What we're going to do is just play it as written, so we play lines 1, 2, 3 and 4, and go back to the beginning, and then play lines 1, 2, 3 and then line 5. So because they're our first and second time bars, as we talked about last week. I'll talk about those more shortly as well. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's try it together. So here we go, after 4. Okay, so 3, 4. Back to the beginning, so 3, 4. To rest. Rest. Okay, good. So hopefully you enjoyed that one, and as always, give yourself a good old pat on the back if that went well and you're feeling confident. If not, try it again for another week or so. With all these things, take them nice and slow. Try and make sure what we want to be doing is putting the right information in each time. So what you don't want to do is kind of something like that, so maybe you're playing it fast but you're starting to miss a few notes. That's not really, it's just not really going to help. So go slow, get it right, and then start picking the speed up. That's always the best way to approach it. So what we're going to do is try it one more time, but I am going to play it on electric guitar this time. So if you have an electric guitar, or you have access to one, or maybe you go into a music shop and think I'm going to try it out, this is a good one to try. What you want to do is just put whatever. So you've got your electric guitar, plug it into the amp, put the distortion on pretty high basically, and then have a go. So we're going to do exactly the same again, except I'll be playing this guitar, so it can sound probably a little bit more like the original. I should also mention that the original song, in terms of how it's played on the guitar, probably been played with a plectrum, which is one of these sort of triangular looking things that you may have seen, or a pick is how it's also known. So we haven't talked about those yet, and we will do at some point, but I was planning on getting a little bit further down the line before we do. So, planning on working through book 2 after we finish this one, possibly book 3, and then getting on to plectrum. So we want to try and really develop the fingerstyle before we get into that side of things. But if you want to have a go, you're very welcome to. If you've got them, often if you buy a guitar that you start a guitar anyway, you end up like with a few accessories and things. So you might have one. So if you do, just hold the plectrum between the thumb and the index finger. Make sure the pointy bit goes towards the strings. And good luck, basically. So here we go. So after 4. Okay, so should I just, yeah, my volume's okay. So here we go. So 3, 4. Back to the beginning, Okay, so that's our first little foray into the world of electric guitar. As I said, the distortion's up quite high, which, excuse me, yeah, which from a practice point of view, I kind of usually recommend that you go less distorted than that so you can really hear exactly what's going on. And that's primarily as well while we're focusing on acoustic guitars, but also acoustic guitars are a bit easier to get hold of and that kind of thing as well. So, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Have a listen back. If it's all going well, feel free to play along with the original. Maybe you can slow it down on YouTube if you're watching it on YouTube. Go to the little gear icon, change the playback speed to 0.75. 0.5 would probably feel a little bit too slow, but you could try that if you wanted to. So, but yeah, if you enjoyed it, again, please let me know. Just pop a message in the chat. It's always good to get a bit of feedback on what you've liked and what you haven't liked and that kind of thing. So, okay, so we're going to move on then. So last time we looked at exercise 28 as well. The very curious cat. So this also has first and second time bars, so I am just going to bring that up on the screen just to talk you through them a little bit. I think I mentioned this last week, so yeah, there we go. Okay, so, why that's done that. So when we play it, we start at the beginning obviously, and we play to this repeat here. And so the first time we're playing it, we do the bars under this first time bracket here. When we go back to the beginning, we play these first two, but because we're playing the second time, we skip over these two here. So we get to this point and we just jump over and come over to here and play those two bars. So the bar number sequence, if you like, is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 5, and 6. And then we just play through to the end. So, we obviously had a go at this a little bit last week, so we're going to do, we're just going to play through it again today. So good luck with it. Obviously we'll do the repeats. I've got down just to play it forte, so loud. So again, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just try and make sure you're getting the notes and the timing right as much as anything. The dynamics is always, I always view it as the icing on the cake. So just do what you can with it. So okay, so let's give it a go. So after 4, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the beginning. Into bar 5, second time bars. Rest. Two, rest. Okay, so as always, give yourself a pat on the back if that went well. If it didn't, just keep practicing away. Let me know if there's any bars in particular you found difficult. It's just kind of, I think a lot of it can be watching out for timing, making sure you're picking up which ones are minims, which crotchets, which are quavers, that kind of thing. But it does get easier, so you just got to take my word for that. Hopefully you'll find that over the next few months or whatever, that actually it does start to sink in and everything starts to feel a little bit more comfortable. So, okay, so we are going to move on then. So we'll turn the page to page 22, and we're going to have a look at exercise 29, which is called Way Up. And first thing, just before we get stuck into it, is we've got this minim rest. Again, I'm just going to open the page up just so you can see it. So as we look up the top of the page here, you see that little rectangular bar there resting on that centre line. That is the symbol for a minim rest, so 2-beat rest. So when we're looking at this tune, we've got the 2 E's, then a G and then an E, and then that little rectangular symbol there, so that's a 2-beat rest. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and rest, rest. 1 and 2 and rest, rest, and that kind of thing. So we've got them in the first 3 bars there, nothing different going on those middle lines, and then we've got them again at the end. So let's give it a go. In terms of other things to watch out for, we've got the first and second time bars again. So in terms of the structure, similar to the previous exercise, we'll do bars 1, 2, 3 and 4. So bars 3 and 4 under the first time bar. And then we go back to the beginning and we play bars 1 and 2 and then 5 and 6 because they're under the second time bar. And from that point we just play on towards the end. If you want to add the dynamics in, do feel free to go for it, but otherwise, as always, we're just mainly focusing on trying to get the notes and the timing right. So, right, I will play through. Feel free to try and join in as well if you want to. Otherwise, I'll just demonstrate it. I'll shout some of the note names out and timing and things as we go. So, have a go or have a listen and yeah, see what you think. So here we go. Okay, so 3, 4. Rest, 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 rest. Back to the beginning. Rest, rest, rest. And on to the second time bars. Bar 5, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 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 rest. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the tune. Hopefully that all kind of made sense as you were watching or attempting to play along. So let's put the backing track on and I'll point at the music as I usually do. So I just have to find the right bit here. So this is exercise 29, isn't it? Okay. So I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. So that was exercise 29, way up. So hopefully that all makes sense, and hopefully you'll enjoy practicing that one. So we are going to move on. We're going to have a look at the box below that. So your first 3 scales. So scales are kind of the fundamental building blocks of music, particularly the major scale arguably being the most important one. So you may have sung these kind of things at school, possibly, like the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I'm not going to sing it to you because you probably don't want to hear that, but yeah, that's effectively what we're doing. We haven't learned enough notes yet to play the whole thing, so we're just doing a section of it. So let's start with C major. This is kind of the one that most people would begin with. If you picture a piano, you've got the white and the black keys. This is focusing just on the white keys. And the whole scale would be just the white keys. These other scales we're going to play today, like the G major when we get to it, would have one of the black keys in, but we're not getting that far. So, yeah, I'm sort of waffling a little bit now, but C major is all the white keys. So let's have a go. These are all notes we played before. We're just going to try and keep it nice and steady. So here we go. Okay, so after 4, so 3, 4, C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so fairly straightforward. It's just kind of really the notes that we've learned, or some of them anyway. Okay, so G major, much the same. Let's have a go at these, at this one as well. So we're starting on G, and we're going up to the note D. Okay, so after 4, so 3, 4, G, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G, 2, 3, 4, and then finally A natural minor. So we start on the note A and we're going to go up to the note E. So here we go. So 3, 4. A, B, C, D, E, D, C, B, A, 2, 3, 4. So it's also worth knowing that if you ever decided to take any grades, then if you did like the initial grade, debut grade, sort of pre-grade 1 stuff, these are the sort of scales that they might ask you to play. So knowing them now, you know, if you ever decide to take a grade, then they could prove to be quite helpful. So I have backing tracks for those on my YouTube channel. So if you go to the Guitar Quest 1 backing tracks playlist, you'll find them on there. Because they're quite short, I'm not going to go through and play them here now, but hopefully like what I just played would be enough to kind of guide you through that. So, and what I'd like to do is just get on to the final tune really. So final turn, which is exercise 30. So looking at page 23 then, the thing to watch out for in this is the repeats. So again, if I just pop the page on, so look at exercise 30. Start obviously at the beginning, we play the first line, we've got a repeat here, so we come back to the beginning, play it again. Then when we come down here, notice we've got this sort of mirror image of the repeat sign. So we're going from here all the way to here, we see our usual repeat sign, and rather than going back to the beginning, we go back to this sort of mirror image of it. So I sort of put up here thinking of them as being a bit like brackets. So if you don't see the mirror image of the repeat sign, it means you go back to the beginning, but obviously you can only do that once. So after that, if you see another repeat sign in a piece of music, there should be the mirror image one to sort of tell you where to go back to. So to recap, we've got first line once, twice, and the second line once, twice because of those repeats, and then the third line has the same kind of repeats, so we're going to play that twice as well. Again, we've got the dynamics, so you're very welcome to have a go at those if you want to. But let's give it a go with all the repeats. We're back in 3/4 this time. So yeah, remember just counting to 3. When you're practicing this at home, try not to allow a pause at the end of the bar, so we don't want it to sound like there's a fourth beat. So it's always 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that kind of thing, and not 1, 2, 3, then a little pause and then going again. I've noticed like that can happen because we're so used to playing stuff in 4/4 time. So when we go to 3/4, it's quite easy to put that extra beat in, but obviously, as I said, we want to try and avoid that. So let's give it a go. So after 3 this time, from the top, I'll sort of talk our way through it as well. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3. So D, B, D, B, B, D, B, 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 B. Back to the beginning. D, B, D, D, B, D, B, 2, 3, and then second line. 2, 3. 3, 2. Back to the beginning of that line. 2, 3. 2, F, E, D, B, C, then the third line. 2, 3, and repeat that line. 2, 3. Okay, so hopefully that all made sense. So let me pop the track on and I will point at the music again just so you get a feel for where we're up to. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this one. Here we go. Okay, so just get rid of that. So that's the tune. I forgot to mention actually on the backing track that that is a little bit faster than previous ones. So because obviously this is exercise 30. We played quite a few of these now. So hopefully you're comfortable just picking up the speed a little bit. But if not, you can. If you go on to the backing track on the playlist, so Guitar Quest 1 backing tracks, find it. You can always change the tempo, like we talked about with Top Gun. So you just click on the gear icon, go to the playback speed and change it to 0.75, and you should hopefully be back at sort of a more comfortable tempo for yourselves. So yeah, that basically finishes off book 1, Guitar Quest 1. So there is Guitar Quest 2. We will be covering or moving on to a whole new set of notes and things. But I wanted to say, obviously, to everyone who's watched and got something from it, and thank you very much for turning up, and I hope you've enjoyed it. There's a few questions at the end there of the book, which would be interesting to know what your answers are. What did you enjoy? What you find most challenging, that kind of thing. But it can also be useful just for your own perspective, just to kind of acknowledge where you started and where you're at now and that kind of thing. It's good to do that. And if you write down what's the song you found easiest or you like the most, then if any performance opportunities arise, perhaps family gatherings or school things or whatever, you could perhaps play those, and play the ones you're comfortable with. We want to show some progress. That's the key thing. That's what we want to be getting to. So that's where we're at with that. So obviously next week we'll be doing a lesson. So what I was thinking is it sort of rounds it off nicely if we make next week a kind of question and answer session. So I'll pop an email out to talk about this. But rather than me just kind of ploughing on into the next one, perhaps if you've got questions or anything you haven't understood, anything you'd like me to go over, any exercises you found more challenging than others you'd like to go back over, anything like that really, please do send me an email, or alternatively just chuck the question on the live stream next week. And it would just be, I think it's a good opportunity just to kind of take a step back, see where we're at, focus on any bits we need to before we push on. When we go on to Guitar Quest 2, we've, so far I should say, we've learned all the notes on the top 3 strings around here. So we're going to learn the notes on the bass strings. That's kind of our goal with the next book. So I will send that around in due course. It's just getting finished off in terms of layouts and things. So that should be out pretty soon. So yeah, a question and answer session next week. If I don't get any questions, I'll still be here. I'll sit here for a bit and fire away, and hopefully things will all kind of make sense. So in terms of what to practice this week, then I would suggest pick something for a warm up. You could go Top Gun, perhaps. That's a fun tune to play. So please have a go at that. And then exercises 29, 30, along with those few scales would be good. Obviously, anything else you found tricky. As I mentioned, we'll do the question and answer thing next week. So basically, best luck with the practice. Do get in touch. I'll send the email. You can reply to that, and we'll just sort of see. So it'll be a bit of a play it by ear week next week. So I think that pretty much rounds it off. So if you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up as well. Or if you're watching this in non-live, like real time, please, you can put questions on the comments underneath the video and things like that as well. So, hope you've enjoyed it so far, and I will see you all next week. Okay, take care then. Bye-bye.